Today, our featured presenter is the current Director of Social and Digital Media at the Wisconsin Foundation and Alumni Association and co-owner of Warm Glow Studios. Dexter helps brands that struggle with visibility online build social media strategies that help them stand out in a competitive marketplace. After today, we hope that you'll be excited to step up your social media marketing game. Dexter is a proud UW-Madison graduate and also earned his Master's of Communication from Purdue University. One thing you may not know about our presenter is he's married and has 4 daughters. Today, he is here to share his professional insight on how to create a social media strategy that actually produces results. Please give a warm Dream Inc. welcome to Dexter Patterson.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Clap one time if you can hear me in the front. Clap 2 times if you can hear me in the back. We're good. Shout out to all our people online. We're also streaming this right now, so super excited to all you people tuning in today. I am super excited to be here with you all today to talk about social media and talk about how you can create a strategy that actually creates results and actually is a little bit fun and rewarding for you, but also your customers. So where we're going to start is we're going to really think about the foundation of building a social media strategy that is going to be successful. And this is Dex's top 5. My top 5, the very first one is listen and learn. We need to step into the shoes of those passive buyers a little bit. We need to be what I call a lurker. We need to take some time to listen and learn about our customers. What are they engaging with? What matters to them? What are they struggling with? What are their pain points, right? One thing you got to always remember about social media is it is not about you. It is about how you can solve problems for your customers. And I think a lot of times we're always thinking about, what am I good at? What do I like? And all this stuff. And you're already losing the game because you're not thinking about the people that matter, and that's your customer. So take some time to listen and learn. Take some time to understand what they want and what you can provide from them. The next thing is brand awareness. As you can see, I have the sales funnel on there, and that is very important, right? We need to be filling that sales funnel all the time, and social media marketing is a great way to start getting people into that funnel. The top of the funnel activity, that's where you're going to start with your social media marketing. What's going to really, really pay off is we need to massage them down that funnel, though, right? I think a lot of times we think we get them there, we get their attention, and we're done. The job is done. That's why you're losing. Once you get their attention, it's your job to move them down the funnel with more content, right? More personalized communications, more marketing efforts. We're going to put the marketing back in social media today. So you want to get them at the top of the funnel, right? Those eyeballs make that matters, right? We want to be a part of the conversation. When consumers are out there, they're researching, they're thinking about doing something, that's where brand awareness comes in. We just need to be a part of the conversation. The next one, we need to tell our story, your story. Don't try to be like the next Wendy's or all these other brands out there. Build and tell your story, right? This is your opportunity to control the narrative in social media, to really tell people what your brand is about, to talk about your mission, to talk about your vision, to talk about what you stand for, to show how you change lives, to show how you benefit people with your products or services. The next one is you have an opportunity to build your own community. This is huge. Stories in online groups and communities are the future of social media. That is the future. If you don't have an online group, if you're not telling stories, you're going to fall behind really quick. This is what people want. This is what they're engaging with. They want to feel like they belong. They want to feel like you're listening to them, right? When marketing first, I think as marketers, a lot of us forgot what marketing was. It was all things human, right? It was all things human. And then we got into automation, and we got into all these things, and we started to lose that connection with our audience. We started to lose that bond. That's what these online communities are going to be able to restore. People want to feel like they're being listened to. They want to trust you. They want to understand you. They want to know that you understand them. And the last one is advertising. I can't stress this enough. We need to invest for success. All good social media strategies, I feel like, are wrapped up in a paid strategy as well. I feel like your organic content is testing grounds for your next advertising. If something is killing it organically, why don't you put some money behind that and get some more eyeballs on that? Use your organic content as your testing ground to understand what's resonating with your audience. These 5 things, these 5 areas are what we're going to talk about today. This is what's going to give you a comprehensive look at what you're doing in social, and this is how you're going to be successful. So the very first thing I always tell people to do is check your fresh, right? Look in the mirror, right? This is your digital first impression. You need to do a social media audit. You need to make sure that when people see you, a lot of times the first time that they see you is going to be on your social media platforms or your website. So go out there. Make sure that all your photos are up to date. Your cover photos are high resolution. Your bios are accurate. Your links actually work. You won't be surprised how many people have broken links on their profiles, but they don't know because they haven't checked it. You know, your brand guidelines change. Are you on brand? Are you using an old logo? Are you using old creative from an old campaign that you shouldn't be using anymore? Like really taking a full assessment of where you are, how you look, and what your goals are there. Right? Doing that social media audit, this is step 1. The next thing you need to do is you need to find your fans. How many of you are on at least one social media platform? That's a lot of hands. How about 2? How about 3? How about 4? How about 5? Look at this, right? How many of you can you say are confidently using all those platforms to the best of your ability? Do you feel like you're having success on all those platforms? Let me see those hands now. Not very many, is it? See that? That's the reason, right? Is we're everywhere. Master of, jack of all trades, master of none. Spreading ourselves too thin. Now we're overwhelmed, right? Now we're overwhelmed. I love people that sit in the front. Thank you. Now we're overwhelmed, right? We don't know where to start. We don't know where we're going. We're confused. We don't have enough content. We don't have enough. I don't know what to do, Dexter. Oh, I'm just going to give up. That's usually what happens, right? So find your fans. Where are your fans spending the most time? Where are they? That's where that listening and learning comes into play. Where are they? That's where you need to be. And I scare people where I say, you know what? Maybe you should delete that one. Maybe you should delete that one. Maybe you should only be on 2. My theory is pick 2. I know it sounds like a fried chicken deal or something, right? We have a master barbecue in the building. That's why I thought about chicken, Jeff. But pick 2, right? Pick 2. Pick the ones, pick the platforms where your audience is at, right? Where they're spending the most time, where they're engaging with the most content, where you have the most bang for your buck, right? We don't want to invest all this time into social media marketing and we're not able to support our business goals. In the end, that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to move the business forward. So pick 2. I promise you, if you pick 2, maybe it's 3, maybe it's 4, but think about your bandwidth. Think about what you're able to do. Think about the content that you can create. Do you have the resources to be in all these platforms? If not, it's okay. Cut them down, pick 2. Content audits, along with that social media audit, you need to really be paying attention to your content. On a weekly basis, I challenge you to do this, is to really look at what's working, what's not working. It's pretty simple. Do more of what's working. Pay attention to the patterns. Pay attention to the patterns. Listen to the data. Success leaves clues. Look for the spikes, right? Pay attention to that stuff. What's working? What's not working? How can we get better? That's what we need to think about. And then in the end, we set new goals all the time. I always tell people, like, social media marketing is very cyclical. We're going to build it. We're going to review it. We're going to get better. We're going to build it. We're going to review it. We're going to get better. If you're not evolving, if you're not reviewing, if you're not trying to get better, you're going to get a lot more of the same, right? If you always did what you always do, if you always do what you always did, you always get what you always got, right? Good old Henry Ford. So you got to set new goals. You got to know what's going on. Now the next part is content creation. A lot of times this gets really confusing. You don't know even where to start, right? Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start, Dexter. Where do I start? You always start with the strategy, but you're not gonna build a strategy unless you're willing to commit to social media. You have to commit. There's no instant gratification here. This is the long game. Social media is not a silver bullet. You're not gonna put out a post and get exactly what you want right now, which is counterintuitive to the way that people use social media now because it is about instant gratification. It is about right now. But as marketers, it's not about right now. We have to commit. We have to be willing to commit, and we commit to moving the business forward. We commit to building a strategy that moves the business forward by always keeping our eyes on business goals. So we're gonna commit, and we're gonna make sure that everything that we do in the social space is tied to a business goal. We talked about listening and learning. That's where all this is coming in. We're gonna solve problems for our customers. Counterintuitive to what people think, we're gonna seek out those problems. I know people get scared on social media because they feel like something's gonna happen bad for their brand. Look for those problems and solve them. That's where your content is gonna come in handy. How does your product or service change the lives of your customers? How does it make it better? That's what you focus on. And if you're doing that and you're committed, you're solving problems, you're really paying attention, you're strategic in thinking about content as a product, that's important because all products need marketing if you want them to be successful. Tap into your internal influencers, right? A lot of times you might just be starting on social media, and I always say we all start at zero. We all start at zero when it comes to our following. But there are a lot of people in our building and our companies that we can empower to share our stuff. So thinking about, employee advocacy platforms and employee advocacy programs, our workers, our coworkers have a vested interest into the business. We know more about the business than other people. We have an affinity for the business, hopefully that we're working for. So tap into your employees, train them, give them the ability to know how to share, to know what you want to share, establish priorities, right, of what you want to share, and then make it easy for them. Make it easy for them to get involved. Post on your company intranet, links and things like that people can post to their profiles. Think about your everyday influencers that already follow you. I think a lot of times in influencer marketing, we always just think about celebrities, and we neglect that peer-to-peer power. Our everyday influencers, our friends, our families, people that are already maybe experts in their own field, but they just might be good content creators, right? They just might be good at creating content. They might have a good following on their own, just on a personal level. Tap into those people. And the reason I say that is influencer marketing has a bit of a trust issue, right? For so long, there's these celebrities and semi-celebrities that were buying followers and really gaming the system. So the influence of those celebrities isn't what it used to be. You're seeing a lot of companies going into the employee advocacy and the peer-to-peer everyday influencers and really tapping into the power of numbers. That's what we want to do there. So tapping into those internal influencers, employees, everyday, normal people that just happen to get social media. The next part of it is what do you focus on? Focus and format is one area that a lot of clients that I work with struggle with. They just don't know what to focus on, what formats they're going to use, whether it's video, it's blog posts, is it infographics, is it maps, is it all these different things, ebooks. There's so many ways you can go with format, but focus is what I like to focus on. These 5 buckets right here are going to get you a long way. They're highly engaged content buckets, and they're valuable. They tie back to business goals really easy. The first one is information. You want to just be informing people about your brand, your products, your services. What do you got going on? Helping them make smarter business decisions. You want to inspire people. by sharing success stories and showing, work you're doing in the community and things like that. Sharing client success stories, sharing how your products or services are changing lives, how people are using your products and services that are changing lives. Inspiration is powerful. It taps into emotions. Emotions are really powerful. Educating them. I think a lot of people miss this opportunity. Is like we have the opportunity to train our customers on how to be better customers in social media. So thinking about how you can equip them with the information they need ties back to the first one to make a better purchase decision. Think about that. Giving them all the information they need to show them, hey, we are better than our competition because we want you to make the best decision for yourself, and we're going to help you do that. Not a lot of brands are doing that. And activating them. User-generated content. Listening. Letting them know that their opinions matter. User-generated content is huge. So really thinking about that. And then fun. Find the fun, you guys. Put the social back in social media. Stop being so dry. I mean, so many of these corporate brands are just so dry, and then they wonder why nobody's coming back. There's fun. Even in boring products, you can find fun. You can have quizzes. You can do some fun things. You can show different sides of your CEO. I really love the social CEO, by the way. Show your head once in a while. Have some fun. The next one is live video. I cannot believe how many brands are still not using live video. It blows my mind. It really blows my mind. Not only do the algorithms love it, people love it. It's real. It's authentic. It's in the moment. It's behind the scenes. It just feels right. You get to see what a brand is really about. You get to go behind the scenes at events and different things, product launches. You imagine doing a product demo live, right? These type of things are things that a lot of brands are just missing out on huge, huge, huge opportunities to be more interactive, right? To be real. To show people what you're really about. Sweet spot I found is like 7 to 20 minutes for live videos. You can definitely go longer, but I'm just saying this is the sweet spot I've seen. You don't want to be too short because then not enough people are tuning in. You don't want to be too long because people are tuning out. 7 to 20 minutes, no more than 60 minutes I would recommend. Facebook will probably cut you off too. They do that quite a bit. And social selling in your live videos, thinking about what is your call to action. So many times we go live and we forget that we're marketing. Don't be afraid to social sell. Don't be afraid to tell them that you have a new release coming or tell them to go to the website, tell them to do these things. Don't be afraid to make the ask. And the reason why I say that is like, you can make the ask because you've been doing everything else right. You've been listening to them. You've been solving their problems. You've been giving them value. Now it's your time to ask for something. And they're going to reciprocate. Stories, it is the future, right? As human beings, we love stories. We love listening to them. We love telling them. They resonate with them. We remember them. But also stories are growing 15 times faster than feed-based content right now. People are engaging with stories way more than just a typical link in a post. And I've heard this, Dex, but my stories they're not getting the impressions and the reach, And I say, well, think about beyond that vanity metric. Think about what they're doing. They're actually consuming that content. I'd rather have people consume that content and go through my story than just to be scrolling down the information highway on Facebook and maybe see my post. I would rather them engage with my story, see my story, absorb that message. So tell more stories. Tell your story. Only you can tell that story. Think about it. Are there ways where you can make your audience the hero? That's really powerful. When you can take the attention off yourself and put it back on your audience. That builds trust. That makes people want to absorb this. It doesn't feel salesy. It doesn't feel like marketing, even though we're changing behaviors. Stories also have this built-in sense of urgency that I absolutely love, right? If you follow a brand, you're going to get notified right at the top that they started a new story. I love that. Also, there's this built-in sense of urgency already built into your story. They go away in 24 hours if you want them to. So guess what? That makes people want to run to your story, see it before it goes away. Or you can save it. You can make it a highlight. Maybe it does really damn good. And you don't want it to go away in 24 hours. Just make it a highlight and save it. It's lo-fi, right? You don't have to have this huge budget. Shout out to our camera crew back there. But you can make stories with this. Right? It's lo-fi. You don't have to invest all this time and this effort and money into creating a good story on Facebook or Instagram. You can use your phone. You can be a media company. It's right here. It's right here. One of my favorite tools, speaking of stories, I know a lot of times people are like, well, but my stories look like crap. Check out Easel, E-A-S-I-L. Best story tool that you'll find on the internet for creating Instagram and Facebook stories. They have templates for everything. You will literally look like a designer making your stories on Easel. I promise you this. It is very user-friendly. There is a free version. I always tell people if it's free, it's me. Right? But Easel is amazing. There's other apps too. So search the App Store if you want one for like your mobile phone. This is actually a desktop app. So you kind of go in, build out what you need to do, download these stories. But there are a ton of other apps that I use. Unique is another one, U-I-N-I-Q. Unique is an app for my mobile phone. I use that. And then also Instagram Stories, just the app. You're able to build some really cool Instagram stories. And it will make you look like a designer even though you're not a designer. The next one is social media advertising, the big bad wolf. It's scary, right? Social media advertising is scary. Dexter, I don't have the budget for it. I don't get it. My customers aren't on Facebook. Lie. I get all that, right? My customers aren't there. I don't know what to do. I don't know where to start. You start with the creative. All ads, if you have a bad creative, you don't have a good image, it's not going to work, right? Your goal is to stop the scroll. You want to play to people's emotions, faces and action, play with contrast, grayscale, things that people don't typically see in the news feed is going to stop the scroll. That's your goal. Find a really good image that resonates with what you're trying to communicate and will resonate with that audience. You also don't want to have a disconnect from the image, so if they actually click it and go somewhere, you want them to relate. So don't game them, right? Don't try to trick people and put up a picture of like a really cute cat or something, and then they go there and you're trying to sell them something, right? Don't do that. It's not fair. It's not awesome. So also with creative, make sure that you're A/B split testing things, right? So when you build an ad, don't just put up one image. Put up a few and see which one is working. Right? Give it some time so you can optimize and see what's working, what's not working. If one is just bombing, shift that budget to the other one. That's the beauty of social media, is that it's fluid, is that we can adjust on the fly, right? That we have that power to say, this just isn't working. I'm going to pause that and I'm going to invest the rest of my budget into this one image that's killing it. So make sure that you're testing these things and that you have a variety of images in your ad sets. The next one is in advanced targeting. I was talking to a friend of mine earlier before this started, and he was telling me about a caterer that was targeting other caterers. For what? They're not going to buy your stuff, right? They're going to look at that as a slight at their business. Why are you targeting me with your Facebook ads when we do the same thing? I am also a caterer, right? I am also a caterer. Why are you sending me your Facebook ads? So understanding who you're trying to target, right? Listening and learning, finding your audience, knowing where they are. But what are they doing? Who are they? Demographic, any of the demographic info that you have needs to be in there. Any of this interest that needs to be in here. So the caterer should have been targeting people that are, looking for weddings and, that parents and graduations and all these different things, right? There's so many opportunities for a caterer to be targeting certain interests, right? Behaviors, focus on behavior. Not just spraying and praying, not just hoping that your ad gets somewhere. Just by a show of hands, how many of you have an email list? This is great. So this is a perfect segue into custom audiences. You also want to be building audiences and targeting people from an email list if you can. If you can start from an email list, that's really going to give you a foundation of an audience for your advertising that is going to really be effective, right? You're not just guessing. You're not targeting other caterers when you're a caterer. You're targeting your customers. And if you don't have an email list, that's okay. You can start building one today, right? Be an owner. I'm a firm believer in that. Don't rent the space. Facebook could be gone tomorrow. Your email list lasts forever. So thinking about that, thinking about list building, Facebook, social media in general is a great place for this. To have a list building strategy. So I highly implore everybody out there to think about that email list and to put that back to work for you. I always tell people this is like making your money work for you over time, right? You've already put in the effort to build this email list. Now you can take this email list and you can turn it into something else. You can create a lookalike audience. Now you've expanded your reach. Now you have more people that look like your email list that you can market to. This is powerful. Other custom audiences that you can think about, engagement audiences, people who are engaging with your social media content. Let's target those people. People who are watching your videos. Let's target those people. People who have visited a certain page on your website. Let's target those people. We can create audiences for all these different things. That's the beauty of social media. And the next one is retargeting. Dex, what's retargeting? So we talked about building all these audiences. People are coming to your website, they're watching your videos, they're doing all these things. Maybe they don't buy at that point. I don't know about you, but I don't buy immediately if I see an ad. I might see it again, I might think about this, some time might pass, they might show me something else. But the next time they show it to me, it's a little more personal. You ever notice that? You go to a website, you do something, it feels creepy. It feels creepy, right? But it's effective. Right? That's the difference. I always tell people it's really creepy, but it's effective. And it's more personal, right? You notice, we noticed you did this. Guess what? We haven't forgot about you, right? That's retargeting. But that's the beauty of that funnel, right? We got their attention at the top. They come to our website, they're moving down, they're warming up a little bit. They went to a page that that's a trigger action. I would call that a trigger action. They went to a page that we really want to pay attention to, and then they left. We want to stay in front of that person because they are close. They're down the funnel. We've gotten their trust. They've come to our website. They're absorbing our content. Now it's up to us to let them know that we get them. The further they get down the sales funnel, the more personal it needs to be. The more effort you need to put into segmenting that and understanding who these people are. And the last one is reporting, right? Reporting is like the bane of social media marketing's existence. Dex, what's the ROI? There's plenty of ROI. You just don't know what you're focusing on, right? It's analysis by paralysis. There's so much data out there, you could just be swimming in it. There's just so much of it. But keep it simple. Focus on the goals of the campaign. What did we say the goal of this ad campaign was in the beginning? And think about how you can report on that. That's what you do. Keep it simple. Think about the clicks. Think about the behaviors that people are taking to get closer to that conversion. Your website conversions, your clicks, focus on that. Likes, engagement, some. Right? It's bigger than engagement. It's that quality engagement we're looking for. It's that trust and moving people down the funnel. The return on investment, your return on ad spend, the buzzwords, right? This is what your bosses are going to want to talk about. They're going to want to talk about the ROI. And I really think that brand awareness is unappreciated. The fact that you're a part of the conversation, the fact that you're filling the funnel, that matters. But that cannot be the end of it. After that, you got to do some more work. The next thing is friend raising, right? We got to think long term. We're trying to build this audience. We want them to come back. Retention matters to me as a marketer. Retention matters to me. I want them to come back. Mari Smith said something when I was out at Social Media Marketing World this year that really stood out to me. She said, content is king, but engagement is queen, and she rules the house. Think about that a little bit. Engagement is queen, and she rules the house. It's not just likes that Mari's talking about. It's those deep engagements, right? It's those people in those communities and those groups that are talking to each other. It's people that are sharing out your content, that trust you, that feel like that you're bringing benefits to their lives. That's the engagement that Mari's talking about. And there's a reason that Mari is probably the #1 Facebook marketer in the world, is she gets this. She gets it. She gets that it's about content, but she gets that you have to do something with that content that really resonates with your audience, that moves them to change their behaviors. Reporting, you obviously want to track all conversions. So having your proper UTM parameters with your Google Analytics and your Facebook Pixel, all that needs to be in place for you to properly monitor and report on your social media marketing efforts. But success is going to look different for every brand. So you need to really ask yourself, what does success look like for us? What does success look like for our brand, right? That's gonna change for everybody. You know, you might have different goals for different campaigns. So there's no like one size fits all for this, right? What can we learn? What did we learn? What did we learn? That's why I say A/B split tests and do these different things, is because this is a huge learning opportunity for you. Right? Use the data to make smarter business decisions and understand what we got going on, and then improve. I always say keep it simple with your reporting. You're setting up a dashboard. Keep it really simple. Focus on the business goals. That's what your bosses want to see. They're going to want it to be really simple. So focus on website clicks. Focus on conversions. Show how you help reach a goal. And then I want to open this up for questions. Because I know we covered a lot really fast. These topics, honestly, I could probably do an hour on each topic. So I wanted to make sure that I touched on these things, the keys to the winning strategy, that Dex's top 5, you know, being willing to listen and learn, that brand awareness, you know, telling your story, really building those online communities. Think about building a Facebook group. Think about building a LinkedIn group, and how you can empower your followers to talk to each other. I think that's really powerful. Talking about live video, the benefits of live video and how that makes it more real for your customers. You're showing them what's happening in the moment. It's real time. It's not rehearsed, right? You can script certain things in live videos, but let it fly, right? Let it fly. Shout out to Coach Bud and the Milwaukee Bucks. Let it fly. But also, don't forget, content is a product. I've really viewed content marketing in that vein. It was like content is a product. So if you're going to create content, make sure that you're going to create a marketing plan to push that content out. It deserves it. Your writers, your graphic designers, they're putting in all this effort to create this. Let's make sure that we're setting it up for success and getting as much eyeballs on that as possible. And let's look beyond instant gratification. Let's really look beyond instant gratification and focus on building those meaningful relationships, friend raising, right? Making an impact on people. I have a story I want to tell you guys quick about something I do at the Wisconsin Alumni Association. Every year I do an April Fool's takeover of our website, right? Where I take iconic things on campus in the UW and I kind of flip them on their heads a little bit, right? One year, we did a story where we said Bucky Badger is changing his colors to black and orange. I know, it's horrible. I know, it's horrible. It's okay. And we got tagged in this video. This mom, she tags us in this video of her son, Ross. Ross at the time was 5 years old. And she tags us in this video, and it's of this cute little 5-year-old boy bawling. I was like, oh my God, this is horrible for PR, right? Like, I'm like, oh my God, it's made a kid cry. But Ross is like, I don't want Bucky Badger to change his color. I love the welcome of Bucky Badger. And I was like, oh my God, that's the cutest and saddest thing I've ever seen in my life. But what happened is I reached out to that family and I set up an ice cream with Bucky Day for Ross after that. After his mom said, you know what? They're just foolsing you, Ross. She thought it was funny. We found the fun. The mom thought it was funny and pranked her own kid with our content. He cried. It went viral. And then I brought him in for ice cream with Bucky. He spent an hour by himself, Ross, his mom, his dad, with Bucky Badger at Babcock Ice Cream Hall, just them. Neither one of the parents went to the university. You know what they told me? Ross is going to be a Badger. That's friend raising, right? That's thinking it long term. That's finding the fun. That's finding the story. That's making our audience the hero. We changed Ross's life. I still see this family. We go to family days and things. They see me. They come and talk to me. Ross gives me high fives and they haven't forgotten that. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to make those meaningful connections and take things to the next level. Don't forget to invest for success. There is an ROI in your social media marketing. You just got to really think about how you can support your business goals. I have some time for questions. So I know they have some microphones, so they'll be walking around, and I want to make sure I get to all the questions I can.
Yeah, we'll do some in the audience and some online as well. So online, I know you guys already have a couple questions. For those in the audience, Maddie and myself will be walking around. Make sure that you're talking into the microphone. It doesn't make an impact here, but online it helps them hear it as well. So we'll go ahead and get started. Someone online said, I have a podcast that I do not try to make money on for a reason that is not relevant. How can I maximize my footprint on social media without a budget?
Collaborate. Podcasts, the immediate thing that I think about is collaborate. Find other people in your vertical. Shout out, this is an online question. Yep. Find people in your vertical that are doing similar things and collaborate. Reach out to them, drop them some notes, share some of their stuff, build a relationship with them. That's how you're gonna reach out, is get more people on episodes with you and you'll expand your footprint.
Thanks. Is this on? Well, yeah. I thought you were a great demonstration of your advice to us when you told that story about April Fool's Day at the Alumni Association. I'm wondering if you have another story about some organization you helped transform or some place where return on investment just kicked up beyond any imaginable levels, or because the stories really make this pop, and you did a beautiful job with that one about Ross.
Yeah, Ross is awesome. I love telling Ross's story. But any like I always say, any way you can take the attention off of you. Brands do it all the time where they make their audience the hero. It just feels real, right? Anytime you could just take the attention off of you and just show the good. Like in the end, it just showed that we cared about Ross, right? That we cared about the brand and that we brung him in. It wasn't really about us. It was about making him better. But anytime you just empower an audience and focus on that, I think that's what you're gonna want to do.
Hi. With the live videos, going back to your sweet spot with the 7 to 20 minutes, let's say the video is more interview-wise or substance-wise on talking. What are some of your best practices and techniques of getting to that 5 to 7 minutes so you're not giving it all away right away, but you're also keeping everyone engaged until you have that full exposure online?
Yeah, I mean, chunking it out is really important. So if you do have this huge idea that could be an hour, you don't necessarily need it to be an hour. Really think about it, trim the fat a little bit. Think about, like, if I had to pick the most important, the 5 things I really want to get out, like, just got to kind of, wrangle yourself up, reel yourself in a little bit, and you can go there. But I would say for interviews can be longer. But what I would do is I would make it more interactive. I would throw polls into the live video. I would mention people that are commenting or watching. So like you're grabbing people and you're letting them know that you're there to make it a little more interactive. So any time is longer, just make sure that you're thinking about those people and that you're doing something that makes it more engaging.
This is a question online from Rebecca. Are there any good or free ways to schedule content posting for Instagram or Facebook and get data back?
Freeways for Instagram, probably not. You'll probably have to just pull that data. You have to make sure your Instagram is set up as a business account to get that data. You're gonna have to just get that directly from Instagram, but you can use Hootsuite, which is free, which will also give you some data on your Facebook efforts. But I would just use the Facebook analytics for Facebook. I just think they're native, they're a lot better. So maybe look into the Facebook Business Manager, which is free, and then you can do that.
Hi there. Wow, that was great. There was so much in it. I missed 90% of it. Can we get the slides? Is the recording of this presentation going to be available online?
Jake let me know that the recording will be going up in a couple weeks, right?
We'll email it to you via Eventbrite through your sign up there.
Okay,
If anybody
fantastic.
wants these slides, feel free to connect with me and I will send them to you.
And for those of us who are brand new beginners, like I've got a Facebook page, or I don't even know if it's a page or a group for one of my organizations. Like, what are like the first steps? Is there a resource or a start here? You know, because this was awesome, and it was like way past where I'm at.
If you're just starting, the very basic is you just want to make sure that you have a complete profile. So understanding whether that is a Facebook page or a group, like actually knowing what you have, really important. Make sure that you have a bio that really explains what you do. That is really accurate. Make sure that you have all the necessary links to your websites. If you have products and services, you can throw those in there if you have an actual page. But I would really spend some time doing that listening and learning that I talked about, and put yourself in the shoes of your customer, so that way you can build a page that is like really geared to what they do. That will be my, if you're just starting, just really take some time, be a lurker, spend some time just watching what's learning, observe your competition. That's always a good place to start. Your competition might be out there, see what's working for them, what's resonating with their audience, and then kind of go from there.
2 more questions online as well. The first is your contact information. Is that on the
Yeah, I'll
the
show
next
that
slides?
up. We can connect. I'll have a slide for that.
And then the other question is, how frequent is it recommended to post in the feed of different social media platforms?
I just say be committed. We talked about commitment. I would say try to post at least 3 times a week. I say 3 to 5 times is a nice sweet spot. You don't need to be there every single day. Focus on the ROI of each post. If you need to take some time to really plan something out and make it really good, go for it. But be out there at least 3 times a week.
Hi. I'm not the creeper, but I had one question for you on the content creation. It was in your stories. It was the last bullet point, and it said UGC.
User-generated content.
Thank
so
you.
there's a lot. Oh, great example. So Rose Lavelle, right? U.S. women's team, they win the World Cup. She's a Badger. She makes that awesome goal. We went nuts, right? I've tweeted about it. I posted on Facebook, everything. Our alumni go crazy. It goes viral. It's all these shares. It goes nuts. Next thing you know, I'm getting all these mentions on Instagram. Alumni creating stories about Rose and all this stuff. Guess what I was doing? I was taking their stories and throwing them into mine. That's it, right? That's the power of it. They created it. I took their story, put it in our story. Now they feel like, oh, I'm famous. The Alumni Association shared my story. And you see those comments quite a bit. Like if you share somebody's photo, they're like, you're famous. UW shared your photo. But that is a great example of user-generated content and stories. It was just like all these cool Rose Lavelle stories out there. People were so proud. And I was like, you know what? I'm proud too. We're going to put that in our story so people can see what you created.
My question is about custom audiences. When you talked about starting from an email list and then retargeting, is there somewhere I could go to learn more about that? I feel like I'm in that spot where I need to dig deeper, but I don't really understand it.
Somebody that I think is amazing at retargeting is Andrew Foxwell. Go to foxwelldigital.com. He has courses on retargeting that are amazing. I mean, if you really want to learn about retargeting, I really suggest you check out Andrew and also John Loomer. John Loomer.
Here's another online one that I don't think we've answered yet. Do you have advice for finding your fans and deciding which platforms to focus on when you're first starting your business? And that's from Nancy online.
Yeah, Nancy, pay attention to your demographics. That's the first thing I would think about is what are the demographics of your audience? That's going to help you limit, or target certain platforms. There's a tool out there called Quora, Quora. I love Quora because you're able to go to Quora and you're able to search problems. And you're able to see questions people are asking about certain business things. And if you're able to see the questions that people have, it's a lot easier to figure out like how you can create content for them and where that content may make sense in regards to platforms. So I would do that. Just really paying attention to where your audience is, lurking a little bit. Another one is BuzzSumo. I check out BuzzSumo. You can see like the most popular pieces of content in certain verticals and things in BuzzSumo. So knowing what's resonating with people is going to help you a ton.
Hey, you mentioned, you talk about the sales funnel and then having different groups, for your customers. One of my fears with that is that, you want to give them the ability to talk about your product, obviously, but you don't have complete control over the content that's going into that. And I'm just kind of curious on your thoughts of that balance of letting the conversation flow on its own versus, maybe you have a past customer in there that maybe had an issue. It's kind of a balancing act there. That's, I guess, one of the fears that's held me back from doing that.
Yeah. So with groups, the key to starting a really good group is you should have control. So you set up how you want your group to flow, how people must act to be a part of this group. And you can lay out those ground rules. That's really important, is like, these are the ground rules for my group. I've also seen brands take away the ability to just comment and only allow you to comment in the comments of posts, which that is you controlling the narrative because this is what you want to talk about. And now if they want to dive in, they got to dive in the comments and not necessarily creating their own posts. So I would say lay the ground rules of what you want it to be, and then you do have the ability to approve or not approve posts. So you could have control of that if you want.
Here's another one from online. We are looking to receive more user-generated content and utilize it on the page to tell our story. How would you recommend getting customers to interact more and send in more content without going to them directly and pushing them towards it?
Run a contest. Find the fun. Honestly, they love contests. Figure out some swag that you can give away. Create a nice prize. Do a photo contest. Find a way to have some fun with that. So contests are a great way to get user-generated content, but you're going to want to reward them for their efforts. So thinking about how you can reward them for participation would be awesome.
Thank you very much for all you've been talking about. It's been super interesting. For those of us who work at very small organizations that may not have a dedicated social networking or marketing team, it tends to be spread across everyone that's working there. Do you have any opinions about kind of continuity of voice in your content? Or not, and how that may impact kind of what you're generating?
I think brand voice is very important. So you don't want to have somebody could be completely different and go rogue on you, and that could hurt you, right? I think tone and voice is really important. It gives it a uniformity. It helps with trust. If you're kind of all over the place, they're like, well, what's going on here? So I wouldn't do that. I would establish some guidelines. This is our brand. This is our voice, and go from there.
It's another online question from Ayelen. Comparing photos and videos, what works best for engaging the audience according to your experience?
Both. No, multimedia, honestly. Video, I think video is a little more highly engaged. But the image, just to be an image, the image has to be good, right? It has to be a high quality image. It needs to pop. It needs to stop the scroll. So I've seen images kill it. But I will say this, link-based posts are the least engaged. So when you're throwing links into stuff, that stuff is the least engaged. So hopefully that helps.
Any other questions in the audience or online?
So my question is about the live feed. and live video, and I just trying to. Do you have any advisors? The kind of like what at the time of the day that is more appropriate, or that would be I don't know, that you get more the bang for buck for your.
So the beauty of what I would say is live video, the beauty of live video is all your followers are going to get notified that you're live. So I don't know if it's necessarily a time of day thing. It's about what's happening, right? You don't just go live to go live. You're going to go live to show something exclusive. And I think that's the point of it. Take people behind the scenes, like really thinking about, I'm going to give them something they can't normally see. Right, that's what you got to think about. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's a time of day, but just try it, and you'll see. Like as a user, you'll see it. It will say, "Oh, so and so is live right now." Right, you automatically get notified. That's why I love live video, is because the reach of it organically is a lot better.
On live video, I'm wondering if you feel like that's not appropriate for, here's a concrete example, coach teacher, where I'm able to give private access to myself, sort of, through that. And then the negative feedback I get from some people is, but you're killing all that content for just that 120-minute for those people who got to get in there and connect with you, and it's gone forever, versus posting it somewhere else, not doing it live, that the content is more evergreen.
Well, I would say your live videos, unless you delete them, they live on. So even if somebody didn't watch it live, they can come back for it. I help out and I do some guest lecturing for the university and stuff, and we'll do Q&As via Facebook Live, right? So, but people can come back later and watch them. So I wouldn't worry about it too much. It's more, hey, these people are here. They deserve to kind of see it in a moment, but people can still come back later and watch it. If it's really good, embedded on a website, there's a lot of things you can do to make sure that live video lives on.
Okay, I think this will be our last question. It's from online. With my podcast, I have about 800 likes to my Facebook page and about 750 subscribers. What is the best way to transition from being a fan of my podcast to build my podcast into a part of one's culture? There are several podcasts that I listen to and almost in a cult-like following.
It's build that group. I don't know if you have like a group for your podcast. That's pretty common. You can build a group around that. You could be creating content around the episode that is exclusive to that group, that kind of really starts to build that feeling of a cult following, like they're not getting this content anywhere else. It's what I would call a super fan in the music world. I always tell people 100 super fans could change your life. The same is in your business. So focusing on those super fans and those people that are really engaging with you, start with them. Make them feel like VIPs, and it should snowball.
All right, we'll do one more here.
I just have a question on the video. You talked a lot about Facebook and building on Facebook. What about like YouTube and those kinds of resources?
Yeah, YouTube is still killing it. They're still number one. Love YouTube. LinkedIn is moving into the video world. It's doing really well. You're seeing influencers on LinkedIn using live video now. So video in general, I think it's just where your customers are. Maybe it's YouTube, maybe it's Facebook, maybe it's Periscope on Twitter. Maybe, wherever your customers are, you can't go wrong with video.
All right, Dexter, did you have another slide for
I
context?
do. So I want you guys to remember this one thing. If you take one thing from me today, I love this quote from Seth Godin. The cost of being wrong is less than the cost of doing nothing. So at least do one thing that you learned today. I implore you to try that. And then you're going to have some success. To celebrate your small victories and do some more, but commit. Don't be afraid of failure, and dream fearlessly. I would love to connect with you all on Twitter or Facebook or LinkedIn. So you can follow me on Twitter at I am Dexter P, Facebook I am Dexter Patterson, LinkedIn Dexter Patterson, the Digital Dex hashtag. If you've seen anything that you really like, tweet at me. If you want these slides, send me a message. I have no problems emailing these to you. But I really appreciate everybody that came here today. This is a beautiful, beautiful crowd. Shout out to all of you that tuned in online. This has been an amazing experience. Thank you for having me, Jake, in the Dream Bank. This has been great. This is what I love to do, and I really, really thank you all. I want to take a picture with you guys. Is that okay? Can we do our digital Dex thing and do a picture together quick? From this back, here we go. We're going to try this out. Look at that. Woo, woo. Oh, that's not. There we go. Ready? All right, thank you.